Hi, in this video, we're going to take a look at a sort of exam question that asks us to write down some algebra from a picture. The sort of exam question that I mean is on the screen right now. Just take a moment to have a look at it. Now that question there looks quite scary to me. It's got lots of words and lots of algebra in it. Don't worry, that's what we're going to do. We're going to pick this apart so that you can have a good go at these sorts of exam questions. Now, because these questions are about pictures, we need to do a little bit of revision about shapes first. I have on the screen now some notes about shapes that you should have come across before. In the bottom left, we've got some facts about angles. The angles in a triangle, the inside angles, the interior angles, add up to 180 degrees. Angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees as well. Angles all the way around add up to 360 degrees. That makes sense. If you turn all the way around, you're going 360 degrees. Then on the right, I have some notes about perimeter and area. We've got the definitions at the top, and then how to find the area of a rectangle and the area of a triangle. Something that I really want to stress with the area of a triangle is this half it at the end. That's something that a lot of people often forget to do. To find the area of a rectangle, we just do the base times the height, and triangles are sort of like half rectangles, and so we do the same thing and then half it. Don't forget to half it for the area of a triangle. I'd like you to pause the video now and copy down these notes so that you can refer back to them. Do that now. All right, I hope you've done that because I'm going to test you on it now. Here are some quick questions about the things that you just wrote down. So again, pause the video and have a really good go at these questions and play the video again when you think you're done. Do that now. Right, I hope you've done it because I'm coming back. 3, 2, 1. Here are my answers. The first thing you'll notice is that I have underlined all of my answers. You should do that too to make your teachers' lives a bit easier so that you can find your answers easily. Let's just go through one of these. Let's take a look at the area of a triangle, the first one. What have I done? I've written out the angles inside the triangle add up to 180 degrees. Then I've figured out what A has to be to make it 180 degrees. We can check that fairly easily by going backwards. If I put 60 degrees there, is it true that 60 add 50 add 70 is 180? You can work that out quickly, and yes, it is. 60 add 50 add 70 is 180. You can always do that for angles questions. You can check them at the end. Okay, well done if you got those questions right. If you didn't, check my working and try to figure out why you didn't get them right. We're going to move on now to that scary looking exam question. Let's see how we do with it. Okay, the first thing I want to do is read it through slowly. The sizes of the angles in degrees of a triangle. Stop! Before we go any further, you can write something down there. You know something about angles in a triangle. We know that they add up to 180 degrees. Now that there is a big exam tip to, as you're reading, write down what you know. It will help you to figure out the question And it also might get us a mark already by showing that we know that the angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. That's good knowledge. Okay. Then we've got these bits of algebra. 2x plus 9, x plus 13, x minus 8. Those things there are just saying what's in the diagram. We've got these bits here just shown in the diagram. My next tip is to just be brave with the algebra. We know that the angles add up to 180, so let's write that down and don't be scared of using algebra doing it. The angles here, here, and here add up to 180 degrees. Now that only looks a bit scary because it's got algebra in it, but we've just written down what we know. The angles add up to 180 degrees, and that there will definitely get us a mark in an exam. Yes, mark in the bag. Now looking at that, just what do you reckon we're going to do with it? We're going to draw on your knowledge of simplifying. This here looks like we can simplify it. We've got 2 x's, another x and another x. How many x's is that? That's 4 x's. Add 9, add 13, take away 8. What's that? 9 add 13 is 22. Take away 8 is 14. 14. That took me a bit too long, that did. 14 equals 180. Okay, again, draw on what you know. That's an equation there, and you should have recently done some practice on equations. So, add 14. How do we get rid of an add 14? We take away 14. Do that to both sides, and we're left with 4x equals 166. 4 lots of what is 166? Now, because this is a video about algebra exam questions, we're just going to use a calculator here. So 166 divided by 4. 160 divided by 4 is 41.5. 41.5. So let's write that down. X is 41.5. There we go. Fantastic. Now that there, we broke down into steps, and each step of the way, it was sort of obvious what we're going to do. It's less scary when we break it down like that. Okay, let's do the next one. A rectangle this time. All measurements are in centimeters. Find the perimeter of the rectangle. Now, what was the first tip that I did for the previous question? Write down what we know. How do we find the perimeter of something? We add up all the sides. Okay. Oh, sides. Yeah. What was my next tip? To just be brave with the algebra. So let's add up all the sides. The sides are x, 2x add 5, x, 2x add 5, and we find the perimeter by adding them together. Definitely a mark. We've got a mark there because we were brave in writing it down. Now, what do you think we can do with that? That there looks like we're going to have to simplify it. How many x's have we got altogether? X add 2x add x add 2x. We've got 6 of them. And then the other bits are add 5, add 5. Well, that's just add 10. And that there is the answer. That's what this bit here, means. In terms of x, means it's fine if there's an x in our answer. Again, be brave with it. Don't worry, there's a bit of algebra in our answer. Great, well done. Next, last one here, we're only doing 3. The diagram shows a right-angled triangle, that's there. The area of the triangle, stop! What's the first tip? Write down what we know. Before reading anything else, we can write down what we know. The area of a triangle is a half times the base of the triangle times the height. Great. Now we carry on. Is 294 centimeters squared. So we know that this equals 294. Great. Okay, what was the next tip? You should know them by now. Be brave, be brave. Let's write the algebra. The base of that triangle is 4x. The height of that triangle is 3x. And it equals 294. More marks, more marks. Now, again, what can we do with that? Well, if I have a half times 4 times 3, what's that? Well, a half times 4 is a half of 4 is 2 times 3 is 6. X times x, we're doing the x bits now, x times x, we write as x squared, and it equals 294. Now we need to solve that equation. Let's do that. Well, we need to, if we've got 6 lots of something is 294, I'm going to my calculator again. 294 divided by 6 is 49. X squared is 49. What number squared, what number times itself is 49? Remember, if you square numbers, something times something is 49. That number is 7. Actually, could also be minus 7, because a minus times a minus is a positive. But these are lengths, so we can't have negative lengths. So the answer is 7. Fabulous. Well done if you followed along with that. You should have noticed that those questions, the tips remained very similar. I've got a summary of the tips here to end with. First tip, memorize the facts. We did some practice there. These questions are a lot easier if you practice those facts and memorize them. Then, in a question, start by writing the fact. Be brave when you're writing down the algebra. And something that I mentioned along the way, if you can't get all of the marks yet, then how do you get some of the marks? Just what can you write down to make a start? Because that will often then lead you to getting more and more marks, just making a start. Good luck with your own practice with these.